Admiral Tahoe of the Kintal Empire stared at the holographic display, his scaled fingers tapping nervously against the command console. 72 hours of absolute silence from human territories, unprecedented in the century since humans burst onto the galactic stage. Still nothing, High Commander Juwu, he reported to his superior. All human outposts, colonies, and fleet positions show zero communications traffic. Juwu's expression darkened. The humans never cease their chatter. Something is very wrong. Across 4 other imperial capitals, similar conversations unfolded as the silence stretched ominously across the stars. In the gleaming crystal towers of the Skthi Dominion, General Dong He paced the monitoring chamber, his 4-fingered hands clasped behind his back. The silence from human space had triggered emergency protocols not activated in 3 generations. "Play it again," he ordered. His eyed, Sunny, nodded and activated the recording. The last human transmission had been routine, a cargo manifest from a supply ship near the border. Then nothing. No distress calls, no military chatter, no civilian broadcasts, just dead air where once there had been the constant buzz of human activity. "It makes no sense," Sunny said quietly. "Even if their central government fell, individual colonies would continue transmitting." Dong He's scales rippled with worry. Unless something silenced them all at once. On the ancient homeworld of the Vulnar, Elder Wujin gazed into the sacred pool that had guided their species for millennia. The water's surface remained perfectly still, reflecting his aged face and elaborate ceremonial headdress. "The water should show us what happened to the humans," whispered his apprentice, Yuna. "Perhaps they show us exactly that," Wujin replied, his voice barely audible. "Nothing. Absence. Void. The humans have somehow removed themselves from the tapestry of existence." The Mrethi Collective's response was more methodical. Within their vast orbital habitats, strategic analyst Juo compiled data from every sensor array pointed toward human space. "Power signatures at all major human stations remain active," he reported to the collective's inner circle. "Automated defenses appear operational, but there are no ship movements. No communications, nothing that indicates human presence." Counselor Yumbi leaned forward. Could it be some form of mass quarantine? A biological threat? "Unlikely," Juo said. "Their protocols for biological containment involve increased communications, not silence." Meanwhile, in the shadowed chambers of the Eridani's hidden space stations, Information Director Minsu reviewed the secret monitoring feeds his people had maintained in human space for decades. "The feeds show human cities still illuminated," he told his fellow directors. "Their orbital platforms maintain position. Their automated mining operations continue. But we cannot detect a single human life sign anywhere we have sensors." "Could our sensors be compromised?" asked Director Haisu. "All of them, simultaneously." Minsu shook his head. "Impossible." Back in the command center of the Kintal Imperial Fleet, Admiral Tahoe received the first scout reports from the human border. "The patrol ships report no response to hails," said his communications officer. "They scanned a human outpost from a distance. Power systems operational, life support functional, but no movement detected." High Commander Juwu's tail swished with agitation. "This could be our opportunity. The humans have been a thorn in our side since they appeared. If they have suffered some catastrophe, or it could be a trap," Tahoe suggested. "The humans are clever. This silence could be designed to lure us." "Perhaps," Juwu agreed. "But we must know more. Send a stealth vessel deeper into their territory. I want eyes on their central worlds." As orders went out across the 5 empires to increase surveillance and ready border fleets, a junior analyst in the Kintal Intelligence Division made a discovery. Yerem rushed into Admiral Tahoe's office without waiting for permission. "Admiral, we've detected a pattern." Her eyes were wide with excitement. The human silence didn't happen all at once. It spread outward from their core worlds at faster than light speeds, but not instantaneously. There was a cascading effect. Tahoe studied the data she presented. as if they were executing a coordinated shutdown. Yes, sir. And look at this. Yerem highlighted a series of encrypted transmissions that had preceded the silence. These went to every human world and shipped simultaneously before the communication stopped. Orders, Ju said, looking over their shoulders. They received orders. The implications hung in the air. The humans hadn't been silenced. They had silenced themselves, deliberately, coordinated on a galactic scale, and no one knew why. Retriatif. We must strike now, General Minho urged, his voice echoing through the Kintal war chamber. The humans have vanished. Their systems lie undefended. 2 weeks into the silence, the Kintal battle fleet pushed cautiously into formerly contested space. Captain Hayuri led the advance team onto the abandoned human station orbiting Proxima Centauri. It's empty, she reported, scanning the immaculate corridors. No signs of struggle, no emergency evacuations. They simply left. In the ancient temples of the Vulnar, Sir Doyan collapsed after his divination ritual, blood streaming from his eyes. They prepare, he whispered. They know what comes. The Kintal cruiser, Relentless Fury, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. General Minho stood on the bridge, his tall frame rigid with anticipation. The view screen showed the human station, a massive ring structure orbiting the red dwarf star. Its lights still burned. Its defensive arrays remained powered, but it gave no response to their approach. No warning shots. No automated defenses. Minho's second in command, Commander Shunno, asked in disbelief. Nothing, replied the tactical officer. They should have detected us by now. Minho's scaled lips curled into what passed for a smile among the Kintal. Begin the boarding operation. Captain Hayuri led a team of 20 elite soldiers onto the station. They moved through the airlock in combat formation, weapons raised, expecting an ambush at every turn. Instead, they found only empty corridors. The temperature was perfect for human comfort. The air quality optimal. The lighting at standard levels. This is wrong, Hayuri muttered as they reached what appeared to be a control center. Food in the kitchens, personal items in quarters, water running in bathrooms. It's as if they all stepped out at the same moment. Her communications specialist, Daehyun, examined a console. Captain, I've accessed their logs. The last entry was exactly 14 days ago. It simply says, Exodus Protocol initiated. May we return to a better galaxy. Hayuri reported their findings to the Relentless Fury. General Minho ordered them to gather any technology that could be easily removed and returned to the ship. Something valuable must be deeper in human territory, he declared. We will push toward their homeworld. Meanwhile, in the crystal temples of the Vulnar, Sir Doyan had performed the ancient ritual of starblood divination, seeking visions of the human's fate. His attendants watched in horror as he convulsed, dark blood pouring from his eyes. Great Seer, his chief attendant, Yunji, rushed to his side. What have you seen? Darkness, Doyan gasped. Darkness between the stars. The humans. They saw it first. They prepare. They know what comes. News of Doyan's vision spread quickly through the Vulnar territories. Their high priestess, Jihai, called an emergency council of the 5 elder seers. What threat could be so great that an entire species would vanish? She asked. The humans are prideful warriors. They do not retreat easily. The oldest seer, Namjoon, spoke softly. There is an ancient prophecy about the devourers of light, beings from beyond the galaxy who feed on stars. Across the void, the Mrethi Collective had dispatched specialized scout ships to gather data on the abandoned human worlds. Science Officer Moonbeal directed her ship to enter orbit around a small human colony world. The farms are still growing, she reported to the collective. Automated systems continue to function. But I detect no human biosigns. Her captain, Jinwoo, ordered a landing party. They found homes with meals half-eaten, entertainment systems still playing, vehicles parked mid-journey. They received some signal. Moonbeal concluded after examining local communications arrays. Every human on this planet dropped what they were doing and gathered at their central government facility. Then, nothing. No further record. In the heavily fortified systems of the Scythi Dominion, Admiral Bolney convened a meeting of military commanders. The Kintal are moving aggressively into human space, she informed them. Our intelligence shows they've seized 3 former human outposts. Let them, said War Master Taeyang. If there is danger in human territory, let the Kintal find it first. And if there is valuable technology, then we will take it from the Kintal, Taeyang replied with a cold smile. The Eridani, most secretive of the 5 empires, watched from the shadows. Their spy networks reported that the humans had left something behind on their homeworld. A countdown timer displayed on every screen in their central command center. It had started at 30 days. 2 weeks had passed. Whatever the humans fled from, whispered Intelligence Director Minsu to his supreme leader, whatever they prepare for, we have just 16 days until it arrives. By the 3rd week, Ambassador Jinwoo of the Mrethi Collective addressed the Emergency Council of the 5 Empires. Our probes confirm it. Human space is abandoned. Billions gone without a trace. On the frontier station, where Commander Subin had discovered the countdown timer, technicians worked frantically to decode its purpose. 3 days remaining. Subin reported to the council. Whatever the humans prepared for happens then. In the observatories of the Eridani, astronomer Minji tracked impossible energy readings from the galactic core. Something is changing the stars themselves, she whispered in horror. The Grand Council chamber on neutral space station Concordia had not hosted all 5 empires together in over 3 centuries. Yet today, representatives from each civilization sat in tense silence as Ambassador Jinwoo displayed holographic maps of human territory. We have surveyed 87% of known human systems, he said, his voice steady despite the gravity of his words. Every planet, every station, every outpost, abandoned. Their automated systems continue to function. Their defenses remain active, but the humans themselves have vanished completely. The Kintal delegation shifted uncomfortably. General Minho had hoped to report great victories in claiming human territory. Instead, his forces found only empty ships and stations, as if the humans had simply stepped through invisible doors and disappeared. Have we considered that this could be a human trick? Asked Taehyung of the Scythi Dominion. Perhaps they seek to lure us into a false sense of security before striking. Ambassador Jinwoo shook his head. Our scientists have confirmed residual tachyon signatures consistent with massive teleportation events at every human world. They did not die. They did not hide. They left. The Vulnar High Priestess Jiher raised her ancient, trembling hand. Our seers have seen darkness coming. The humans saw it first and fled before it. Superstitious nonsense, muttered Taeyang. Perhaps not, said Commander Subin, appearing suddenly as a holographic projection in the center of the chamber. The young Eridani officer looked like she hadn't slept in days. 3 months ago, human deep space telescopes all turned toward the galactic core simultaneously. 1 month ago, they initiated what they called Exodus Protocol. And now, we have this. The image shifted to show a simple display, 72:00. As they watched, it changed to 71:59:59. This countdown appeared on every human communication device throughout their territory. By our calculations, it will reach 0 in 3 days. Silence fell over the council chamber. What happens then? Asked Jiha quietly. Unknown, Subin replied. But the timer was left deliberately for us to find. My technicians have been working to decode data packets embedded within the countdown signal. They contain astronomical coordinates pointing to the galactic core. In the Eridani Observatory Complex, astronomer Minji had not left her post for 30 hours straight. Her eyes burned from staring at the sensor readings, but she dared not look away. What had begun as subtle fluctuations in stellar radiation had become undeniable. Stars near the galactic core were changing. "Show me the latest spectral analysis," she instructed her assistant, Kian. He placed the data tablet before her. "The hydrogen emission lines are shifting in a pattern I've never seen before. It's as if something is feeding on the star's energy." Minji's hands trembled as she overlaid the data with historical records. "The pattern is expanding outward from the core. If it continues at the current rate, it will reach populated systems in less than a week," Kian finished. Minji sent an urgent transmission to her government. "Something is moving through the galaxy, affecting stars as it travels. The humans must have detected it months ago. They didn't just flee. They were running from this." Back at the council, panic had begun to spread. "We should evacuate our systems nearest to the core," suggested Jinwoo. "Evacuate to where?" demanded General Minho. "If this threat moves as you say, nowhere in the galaxy will be safe." "The humans found somewhere to go," said Priestess Chihai. "They found a way out." Commander Subin's hologram flickered as she received new information. "We've decrypted more of the human data. They refer to the phenomenon as the void tide. They discovered it was drawn to concentrated energy, especially the kind produced by their advanced fusion technology. So they shut down and left to avoid attracting it," Taehyung realized. "But our civilizations use similar energy sources." "Worse," Subin continued. "The data suggests the humans tried to warn us 3 months ago, but given our history of hostility, we ignored them," Ambassador Jinwoo said quietly. "We thought it was a trick." As the council descended into accusations and fear, a new alert sounded. The countdown had suddenly accelerated. "New calculation," announced Subin, her face pale. "Time remaining, 24 hours. In the darkness of space beyond the galactic rim, billions of displaced humans waited in hastily constructed dimensional shelters, watching instruments that monitored the home galaxy they had been forced to abandon. They had hoped the 5 empires would heed the warnings and follow the evacuation plans left behind. Now they could only watch as the void tide approached inhabited space, and the countdown to first contact ticked inexorably toward zero. Human ships appeared simultaneously across 1,000 systems, sleek, dark vessels that sensors could barely detect. Their hulls shimmered with technology no empire had witnessed before. "This is Admiral Kyungsoo of the United Earth Fleet," came the transmission to all 5 empires. "We gave you peace. You chose war. We will remember this." The Kintal invasion force never had a chance. Their ships froze in space, disabled by weapons that seemed to bend reality itself. "While we prepared to save you all," Kyungsoo continued, "you plotted to steal our homes." The countdown reached its final moments as leaders from all 5 empires watched in dread. Some had chosen to evacuate their closest systems to the galactic core. Others had fortified their defenses, hoping to fight whatever was coming. None were prepared for what actually happened. At zero, space itself seemed to tear open. Not at the galactic core as feared, but everywhere. Thousands of points across the galaxy where reality split apart like fabric being ripped. From these wounds in space-time emerged ships unlike any the 5 empires had seen before. Sleek, midnight black vessels that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Sensors struggled to track them, as if they existed partially in another dimension. In the Kintal command ship, General Minho stared in disbelief at the tactical display. "Impossible," he whispered. "They're everywhere. Simultaneously." One moment, his invasion fleet had been preparing to secure a valuable human mining facility. The next, they were surrounded by these ghost ships that had appeared from nowhere. Before Minho could issue orders, every communication system across all 5 empires received the same transmission. The face that appeared on screens was human, but somehow changed. The eyes held knowledge and power that seemed beyond mortal understanding. "This is Admiral Kyungsoo of the United Earth Fleet. We have returned." In the Eridani Observatory, Minji and her team watched in awe as the mysterious fluctuations in stellar energy suddenly stabilized. They're doing something to the stars, she realized. Whatever was affecting the stellar cores, the humans are stopping it. On the Mrethi Council ship, Ambassador Jinwoo and his colleagues received detailed data streams from the human vessels, information about the threat they called the Void Tide, a sentient dark energy phenomenon that consumed stellar matter. For 3 months, we tried to warn you, Admiral Kyung-soo's message continued. Your governments dismissed our ambassadors. Your military leaders plotted to use our warnings as a distraction for invasion. The Kintal fleet attempted to fire on the nearest human vessel, their weapons powered up, targeting solutions locked, and then every ship simply stopped. Engines died. Weapons systems went offline. Even life support faltered momentarily before stabilizing at minimal levels. Through their viewports, the Kintal soldiers could only watch helplessly as a human ship approached. It was beautiful in its terrible perfection, a vessel that seemed made from liquid darkness, flowing and reshaping itself as it moved. Your ships are disabled, Kyung-soo continued, now addressing General Minho directly. The technology you're witnessing represents 300 years of advancement, compressed into the 3 months we spent in accelerated time-space. In the Vulnar temples, High Priestess Jihai and her seers watched in reverence. They found another realm, she whispered, a place where time flows differently. They evolved there, prepared there. The human ships moved with impossible grace, positioning themselves near major population centers of all 5 empires, not threatening, protecting. While we prepared to save you all, Kyung-soo's voice resonated with controlled anger. You plotted to steal our homes. The Kintal invaded our territory. The Scythi planted weapons on our abandoned worlds. The Mrethi stole our technology. The Eridani hacked our databases. Only the Vulnar sought to understand rather than exploit. On the neutral station Concordia, representatives from all 5 empires gathered again, this time with a human delegation physically present. The humans moved differently now, with a fluid grace that seemed almost supernatural. Their eyes held stars. The Void Tide arrives in 6 days, explained Commander Hana, Kyung-soo's second-in-command. It has consumed 3 galaxies before ours. Conventional weapons cannot harm it. Conventional shields cannot stop it. It is drawn to concentrated energy, especially the kind our civilizations use for faster-than-light travel. She gestured, and a holographic model appeared, showing dark tendrils reaching from the galactic core outward. We didn't abandon our homes, Hana said firmly. We evolved beyond them, so we could return and save yours. Despite everything, we still believe this galaxy is worth preserving. General Minho, brought to the meeting under guard, looked down in shame. Why help us at all, after what we tried to do? Admiral Kyung-soo stepped forward, his form seeming to shimmer slightly at the edges. Because that's the difference between you and us, General. You saw our absence as an opportunity to conquer. We saw your danger as a reason to return. They feed on stars, explained human Ambassador Ji-hoon to the gathered representatives. The hologram showed writhing darkness consuming the sun. We entered dimensional fold space to accelerate our development of defenses. General Hanbin of the Scythi was first to stand. The Dominion will fight alongside humanity. The Mrethi followed, then fragments of the Vulnar. The Eridani withdrew. The Kintal delegation sat in bitter silence until Captain Hayuri assassinated her stubborn emperor with a ceremonial blade. The Kintal Empire will join the alliance, she declared, fresh blood on her uniform. As the extragalactic shadows approached the outer rim, humanity led the combined fleet into position, the last line of defense for a galaxy that had nearly torn itself apart before the true enemy arrived. The Grand Council chamber aboard humanity's flagship Defiance fell silent as Ambassador Ji-hoon activated the holographic display. The gathered representatives from all 5 empires watched in horror as the recording showed a yellow star much like their own sun's. Dark tendrils, like living shadow, wrapped around the star. squeezing until its light dimmed and finally died. "This was the Andromeda system," Ji-hoon said quietly. "A frontier research post captured this 3 months ago. Within hours, every human scientist knew what we faced. An entity we call the Void Tide, a collective intelligence composed of dark energy. It moves between galaxies, consuming stellar energy." Emperor Sungo of the Kin-Tal scoffed. "If this threat is so great, why did you not share this information immediately?" Ji-hoon's expression hardened. "We did. Your governments dismissed our ambassadors as fearmongers or spies." Admiral Kyung-soo stepped forward. "We had no choice but to act alone. Our scientists determined that the Void Tide would reach our galaxy within 1 standard year. We needed centuries of technological advancement to fight it." "So you vanished," said Ambassador Jinwoo of the Mrethi. "We entered dimensional fold space," Kyung-soo corrected. "A parallel reality where time flows differently. 3 months for you was 300 years for us. We evolved. We developed weapons that can harm dark energy itself. The military leaders of each empire studied the strange, shimmering technology humanity now possessed. Their ships seemed to exist in multiple realities at once. Their weapons fired not energy or matter, but what appeared to be focused reality itself." General Hanbin of the Scythi Dominion rose from his seat, impressive in his ceremonial armor. His species had always been proud warriors. "The Dominion has never retreated from a worthy battle," he declared. "We will fight alongside humanity against this Void Tide." Ambassador Jinwoo nodded. "The Mrethi Collective will join this alliance. Our scientists may assist with your defensive systems." High Priestess Jie spoke for the Vulnar. "Our seers foresaw this darkness. Some of our temple ships will join you. Others must protect our sacred worlds." All eyes turned to the Eridani representative, a shadowy figure who rarely spoke in council. "The Eridani must ensure our own survival," they said simply before leaving the chamber. Their species had always valued self-preservation above all. The Kin-Tal delegation remained, but Emperor Sungo's face showed only contempt. The mighty humans beg for help after abandoning the galaxy. The Kin-Tal Empire bows to no one. Captain Hyuri, standing behind her emperor, had served on the front lines. She had seen the abandoned human worlds. She had witnessed the return of humanity's transformed fleet, and now she had seen evidence of the coming darkness. In one fluid motion, she drew the ceremonial blade from her emperor's own belt and plunged it into his back. Sungo gasped, turning to face his betrayer as dark blood spread across his ornate robes. "The Kin-Tal Empire will survive," Hyuri declared, not bothering to remove the blade as the emperor fell. "The Kin-Tal Empire will join the alliance." None of the other representatives protested this bloody transfer of power. Among the Kin-Tal, it was a traditional method of succession in times of crisis. Admiral Kyung-soo nodded gravely. "We have 3 days before the Void Tide reaches the outer systems. Our ships will lead the defense, but we need your fleets to evacuate civilians from the path of the tide." For the next 48 hours, the combined forces prepared. Human engineers installed modified shields on Allied vessels. The Mrethi provided faster-than-light communications technology. The Scythi contributed their fearsome warriors. The Vulnar seers helped predict the tide's movements. As the deadline approached, humanity's transformed fleet took position at the galaxy's edge, where sensors showed the first tendrils of darkness beginning to reach between the stars. Admiral Kyung-soo stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching as ships from all 5 empires, even a small contingent of Eridani stealth vessels, formed up around the human fleet. 300 years ago, he said softly, we left a galaxy of enemies to save a galaxy of neighbors. Today, we return to fight alongside allies. The first wave of darkness appeared on the view screen, hungry tendrils reaching for the nearest star. All ships, Kyung-soo commanded, engage the Void Tide. Retriclaude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.